This week we're going to take a look at the history of price change on January 12th when the USDA will release a series of potentially market-moving reports. We're also going to take a look at updated weather in South America, specifically focusing on Brazil, and wrap things up this week looking at export trends for U.S. beans. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. First, I want to wish everyone a happy new year here and hope you have a great 2024. We're going to start out this week looking ahead to January 12th. On that day, the USDA will release a series of reports: final crop size for 2023, updated supply-demand report, as well as a grain stocks report. What we're going to do is take a look at the history of price change for March bean futures on the day that those reports are released. Now, looking at this chart here, again, this is the change at the end of trading on that day that those reports are released from the previous day. Now, some years you can see not much change, but recently there has been some significant moves, both to the upside and to the downside. Here's the key message. With that potential for increased volatility in place, we strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to have your risk management positions in place prior to the release of these reports. Of course, here in early January, it's a critical time for weather, specifically in Brazil. Let's take a look at the crop estimates for Brazil. Now, the USDA is forecasting Brazil at 161 million tons. Most in the trade expect that to be slightly lower than that, given the challenges that Brazil had in December. But this week, we do want to highlight one other thing, and that's Argentina. Remember that last year, Argentina had a severe drought, only 25 million tons. This year, the USDA is expecting that to almost double to 48 million tons. That's 23 million tons higher, or nearly 850 million more soybean bushels. So we'll be monitoring that very closely for you for the next month or two. Now let's focus on where those soybeans are produced in Brazil. Again, looking at north to south here, the key growing areas in the north, of course, Mato Grosso. Some of those areas in the south are very important that have been very wet: Paraná, Rio Grande do Sul. And of course, in the northeast, we have Mato Piba, as well as Goiás, as well as Minas Gerais, and Mato Grosso do Sul in the west. With those soybean setting pods and filling pods, weather is very critical. Let's take a look at the short-term forecast. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're starting out here looking at the last 30 days as a proxy for subsoil moisture. Now you can see across those northern areas, it has been dry, and that's what's kept the market afloat underneath the market, if you will, while the south has been dry, has been wetter. Now let's look at a change in the weather pattern for the next 10 days, beg your pardon. This is important. Look at all that moisture moving in across the north, where those beans are setting pods and filling pods. Some damage is probably irreversible at this point, but some of those later maturing beans will benefit. Let's quantify that a bit further, looking at this next map with soybean production in the background. About 4 inches above that red line highlighted here, and in between those purple lines, as much as 6 inches of rain over the next 10 days or so. So really looking at a change in the weather pattern in Brazil. Wrap things up now over the next 2 weeks. You can see all across that area, particularly in the north, Mato Piba will be very wet, above normal. Mato Grosso, near normal, and actually a little bit drier as you move further south. But remember, those further south areas have ample subsoil moisture at this time. Let's shift gears now and focus on export trends in the U.S. Now we're looking at unshipped sales of beans here. We've seen a recovery, and we've highlighted here China, because the uptick in sales during China during those last weeks of 2023 has left the unshipped book at 207 million bushels. Now that's well below last year, but it's worth noting it's only 7% below the 3-year average. So we are seeing an uptick in U.S. soybean interest, and it'll be interesting to see if that continues as 2024 proceeds. Let's wrap things up this week looking at long-term trends in November bean futures. A new crop 2024 beans, as we tape here on Tuesday, trading near $12.20 a bushel. Now you can see that that's below where they were trading last year, but well above some of these recent years. And I do want to highlight one other thing, that the crop insurance period is coming up, of course, in February. Notice that there have been several years here where we've seen that price grind lower, sideways lower, from early January to the end of February. For example, 2020, another year was 2015. So there are years where prices do decline between now and the end of February, and that crop insurance price is set. So we strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to get your risk management positions in place for new crop production. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants We'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.